Hey guys, this is just a quick little video of how to use this tool for your student to do verb anatomy. So verbs get introduced much later in the year than is probably helpful for a third year. So this is one of the tools that your student could use at any time. It's pretty much a square from the verb anatomy charts. So you'll see that it has your infinitive, present, past. It has your 5 principal parts across the top. This is a regular verb, but you could just as easily do it with an irregular verb. You would just have your student write the 5 principal parts. So you could take any verb from chart D and you could write it there. You could take any regular verb and fit it in with its infinitive and then add the ed and the ings. And regular verbs should be easy to fit in there, like I have to play, but you could have to jump, that's a regular verb. But you could also have to write, and then it would be wrote, or writes, wrote, writing, and have written or written. So that's a regular verb you could use. Then it has your number, and it has your person, and it has your time. And then down here, it has the tenses, or the forms. So you have your time and form, so you're gonna make up a tense. So this is a verb anatomy to fill out an entire tense. So verb anatomy charts are split into 4 tenses, but this is just gonna be 1 tense. So you can have, down here, you'll circle which one you wanna do. Let's do the progressive form. So then your student would see that the progressive form is the form of to be plus the present participle. So they would go up here and they go, okay, here's the present participle. That's the part of the verb anatomy that it says I'm gonna need. But then it also says I'm gonna need the form of to be. And then that's all I need to make my tense, my progressive tense. So over here, your student will have the form of to be. Now this comes from another verb anatomy chart. This is the simple form of to be. So if you were to look at the verb anatomy chart, this would be the top left quadrant. And then you would see another 4 forms. But when it says the form of to be, it just means the simple form of to be. So am, are, is, are, was, were. Shall be, will be, shall be, will be. So if they can memorize it, even better. But if they can't, then what they will do is they'll use this. They'll say, I need the form of to be. And they'll say, am, are, is, are. Okay, and they just did the present. And now they'll go to the past. Was, were, were. Was, were, was, were. They did the past, and then now they'll need the future, shall be, will be. They have the form of to be, and then the present participle, which they find up here, playing. And so then all they have to do is go in and write playing. And they would have already done their progressive tense for the verb to play. So after you would fill all that out, then you could erase it and you would do the next. Okay, so if we're going to do another one, you could have your student start with a completely blank one and they would have to pick a verb. So if they say, I want to do fight, and it's a random verb, it's not on any chart, then they need to know how to make an infinitive. An infinitive is to plus a verb. So you go to fight. And then present, I fight. Past, I fought. Oh, maybe they'll be able to tell that this is actually an irregular verb because it's not fighted. So I fought. Present participle. I am fighting. Past participle. I have fought. Okay, then let's do the perfect progressive. That's the hardest one for sure. And it has the form of to have, the form of been, and the form, and then the present participle, which is our one of our verb anatomies up here. So we have the perfect progressive form of to have plus been plus your present participle. So you would do the same thing with to have that you did with to be. You would take the first person, the simple form, have, has, have, had, had. Shall have, will have, shall have, will have. And hopefully they'll be able to eventually memorize this. So then you have, there's the present. And if it helps them, they can say, I have, you have, he has, we have, you have, they have. And it makes a lot more sense. Had. And then they would come down here and they'd say, okay, what's next? I did the to have. Oh, I have to have been. That just means you go and you put been in every single cell. And then they say, I did that. What's next? Present participle. What's the present participle? Fighting. So then they would go and they would write fighting in every single one. Fighting. And then it should make sense. It would say, you will have been fighting. Now another fun way that you can use this is instead of having them do the whole thing, you can see if they can figure it out with just like one block. You could tell them, I want you to fill out third person singular past progressive. And then you could see if they can find it, if they can figure out just that one square. That will also help them to be able to work with the information better. And yeah, so if you have any questions, let me know. On the other side of this is the credit quo, so they can go back and forth if they need help with that. And I hope that's helpful. Okay, so here's another fun way to work with verb anatomy without using a specific verb. Instead, you're just using the parts. So these all are labeled. Here's present participle. Here's past participle. Here's the are, which you'll just hang around. And on the other side, they'll have to get used to. It's like am, are. They have, if they become familiar enough with it, they'll be able to tell that these are to be verbs. Has, had is going to be one of your have forms of to have. You have present. Was is another to be verb. Been is the one that just hangs around. To be verb. Oh, here's will and shall. That's going to be over here in your future tense. And they can set it up however they want, because if they just want to fish through all their stuff, if they want to keep their to haves together and their to be's together, past goes right there. All right, so we have, oops, sorry, I was setting that out of here. So we have our to be verbs, our to have verbs. I'll put them over here. Our will and shall. I'll just leave that there because that one's always going to be in this column anyways. Been is always going to be down here with my perfect progressive. So however they want to set that up, they can set that up. And then, actually, I don't need this marker. And then you would just tell them a spot, or they would just pick a spot. And you would say, I want you to make make this one, or make this one, or make that one. And they could, or you could tell them, I would like you to make a first person singular present progressive verb. So first person singular present progressive. So maybe that's what you use your little X for. And they have to make that one. So first person singular present progressive. So you know you're going to need the form of to be. So it's going to be I is. Nope, that doesn't make sense. I be. Nope, that doesn't make sense. I are. Nope, I am. Oh, there we go. And then it's going to need your present participle. I am. Present participle. Done. I did it. So then you can start over and you can say, okay, I want you to do I want you to do a perfect, so a plural, second person plural, past perfect. And so now they have to build that verb. So they're going to say, you all, and I'm going to need the form of to have. You all has? Nope. You all had. Is that in the past? Yep. All right, so we found that one. And then I'm going to need the past participle. Doop. And I built my verb. And then you could just do it however many times. If you need to double check, then you can go back and make sure, look, he had the right form of to have. Your student had. They found had. But let's say that they said have, and then they had to go and check themselves. They would realize that they had the wrong verb form of to have there, so they would have to correct themselves. So yeah, so that's just another fun way where they don't have to have all the actual things written down. They're just actually putting the parts in the right place. So I mean, that's another good way to do it.
All right, just to quickly correct something I said is that this was one tense, but it's not, because we know that our 12 tenses are made of time and form. So if we have our time here, we have 3 times, and we have our 4 forms. So each time that you pick one form, you're actually going to do 3 tenses. So simple present, simple past, simple future. So that's 3 of the 12 tenses. And you would do 3 more if you did this one, 3 more, and 3 more. So I just wanted to correct myself in that this isn't just one verb tense, it's 3. This would be one verb tense. So anyways,